Hello everyone, my name is Lachlan. I write for Money Morning and I'm also an analyst on Exponential Stock Investor. Now today I'm going to talk a bit about how you can be a better retail investor. And there's a narrative out there in the market that the current rally has been fueled by a flood of new retail investors and that potentially they don't know what they're doing. So there are four things you can do as an investor, an individual investor, to be better. So the first and most important one is probably do your own research. You should know a company back to front before you invest. You should learn how to read a financial statement. You should hone your skills and learn from your mistakes. And finally, this is very important as well, is have a sound risk management strategy. This means setting stop losses and understanding when you've made a mistake. So with that being said, there are also four advantages you have as a retail investor. That's you can stick to your convictions, you can invest in the change you see in the world, you can take bigger risks. You shouldn't necessarily take bigger risks, but your capacity to take bigger risks is certainly an advantage. And you should also be aware that you can be more flexible. This means that if you have a smaller position, it's easier to get out of a stock than say if you own 10% of a company. So what I have here for you today is an article from the AFR about tech and gold stocks having a lot of retail investors involved in them. Now, if you read at the bottom of the article, one analyst says, it's been a weird year, but it seems like a lot of these retail investors have been making money. The problem I've seen is when they do well, they attribute it more to skill than luck. Now, only you can know what's skill and what's luck, but I guess a lot of the language coming out is quite patronizing towards retail investors, and I don't really think that's fair. And I think it could be a case of sour grapes with a lot of these funds and analysts in the sense that they missed the rally and they don't know what to do next. So I'll just take you through Australia's best and worst equity funds according to Morningstar. So here you have all the categories, and you can see the best one, Hyperion Global Growth Companies B Fund, managed a 14% return in the period between the 1st of January and the 30th of June. 14% doesn't sound like much, but it's still an impressive return in a volatile market. But if you scroll down in this Morningstar report, you can see the large cap equity funds, the best performing one there, pulled in 5.2%. So there's been this shift to growth on for a while, and that's reflected in the performance of these funds. The next best fund managed a -1% return during this same period. And it's certainly concerning if your fund is the second best and only pulling in -1%. And especially if you look at the small cap funds, you've got two funds that returned a positive result, and then all the rest are negative. So this is sort of, I guess, pointing out to me that the narrative in the mainstream financial press that retail investors don't know what they're doing is potentially not reflected in the performance of the funds, the supposed experts. And I'll just draw your attention to one chart I have here. So we released a report called 4 High Value Small Caps, and we released that on the 1st of July. Now, you can look more into this report if you want, but these are the share prices of the 4 companies we talk about in that report. Now, that doesn't mean you should immediately go out and buy these companies, but there's a method to our madness when we release reports, and this flows through to Exponential Stock Investor, which is a great resource if you're interested in small caps. So we don't always get it right, and it's important to acknowledge that. But we've had some good success recently. And if you'd like to learn more about this service, you can do that in the video description link below. And you can also find the link to the report there. And I would just say, have a safe and happy finished your week, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.